Let me let you into a secret. 3 days before the start of July, in the closing days of June, I saw a video on YouTube by the gorgeous channel Heart Breathings, and it reminded me that NaNoWRIMO, or Camp NaNoWRIMO as it is for those of us practicing on existing projects or pushing work in progress forward, was about to begin in 3 days' time. It was a hell of a shock because I had completely forgotten about the significance of Camp NaNoWRIMO. I've enjoyed it in 2 previous years, but this year it caught me by surprise, and when I saw her video, I thought to myself, what am I going to do? I have several unfinished projects, several what we might call work in progress items, where I've taken it from here to there, and this is the bit that's missing. It's got a weak ending, or it's got a dead middle piece. And of course, I've got several non-fiction elements to my work that also need looking at and tidying up. And so on the last night of June, the cusp of Camp NaNoWRIMO, I made the decision to finish one undone, untidy, non-fiction work in progress that I have loved writing, but I keep putting it on the shelf, and I have to finish it in the month of July. And I thought really hard about whether I think I can finish a fictional story in the remaining weeks of NaNoWRIMO once I've dealt with this non-fiction story about small businesses. That's the manuscript that I've been working on for the whole of this first week, and which I've made brilliant progress on, and I'm really happy. Not Yorkshire tea this afternoon, but deep, black, rich coffee from Chiapas in southern Mexico, which, whether I'm writing in Yorkshire or I've been writing elsewhere, has got me through the day to keep me writing. Looking at this very first week of the month, and there's a lot to play for, there's an enormous amount of calendar open and available and left for us still in this month of July. I've been looking at the Camp NaNoWRIMO website, which is nanowrimo.org, but looking at those first 8 days, it's obvious that I write more when I'm outside of the house, and I've given myself the deadline of working through an entire chapter or pushing forward on 1,000 or 2,000 words. Why might it be that I'm finding I'm more productive outside of the house? I think it's because I'm working at home in the mornings predominantly on investing activity, property activity, and my creative mind is not open. This month is about writing, so why might it be that we find ourselves more productive in one place than in another, and what can we do about making those decisions to put ourselves in the place where we're going to be most productive, our word count is going to be higher, but also the quality of our writing is better, because it's not about word count per se, it's about creating a month in which we make forward flowing positive progress with our manuscript, so that at the end of the month we can say, yes, I won NaNoWRIMO, I had a result, I was successful, I have pushed words forward 1 page at a time, but I've gone full circle and I've finished a manuscript. I've completed a writing project which is important to me. If you haven't already registered on the NaNoWRIMO website, you can still do so. You can backfill the previous days of writing that you've already done, and then you create a regular daily update on the website about the writing activity that has come forth in the course of each of the next few days, to go through week 2 of Camp NaNoWRIMO. But the statistics on the website are immensely useful. The first thing you do is you say how many words you've written in a given session. Then you say, were you writing at home or in a coffee shop or in a library? And it gives you various options, and you choose the one that's relevant to your writing slot on this given day. The site also gives you the option to share how you've been feeling as you're writing, seemingly from happy and ecstatic to grumpy or angry or disappointed about your activity. You get to put a tick in a box, and that also gets fed back to you as you look at your statistics every day. It asks you the time that you start your writing session and the time that you finish. As of today, I'm on just over 19,000 words in the work that I've done in week 1, And I'm really happy with that because it means I'm almost a third of the way through the month, even though we're only in the beginning of week 2. Because I'm writing every day, and maybe you're finding it exactly the same, it's difficult to remember what I wrote on one day or where I wrote on certain days. So having little index cards to keep me on track and to remind me of not only my activity, but where I was and the times of my writing, that's been enormously helpful. Going forward into this second week and working through the week to another Friday close for day 14 is going to be another struggle, an uphill battle, a process of continuing to find the words on paper or adding more text to screen as we go through the week, hugely important. But right now, still in these early days, one of the important things to do is take from the effort you've put in so far and think, where did it work? Where did I struggle? What might I do better? And how can I stay fresh with my story or my writing project as I move through this next week? And to keep myself on track for this coming week, I've created a really simple acronym to help me, and I've stuck it on an index card so that I can remind myself about the behaviours that are important to me in this second week. The W is for work. It's an enormous effort to write every day consecutively over the course of the whole month of July, and so we have to treat this as something important, something that is very significant for us, and that it requires work. The second letter, R, is for rating your output. On a couple of writing sessions this week, I have paused after an hour and thought, Nick, this is not right. You can redo those paragraphs, or you can cut them out completely and start from scratch. And that decision has come from rating the writing that I've done, so that I think, is this satisfactory? Is it really good? And am I happy with the finished paragraph? Or do I need to dive back in again and rewrite that section of the story, or in this case, the non-fiction chapter about a specific theme within the overall book? The I of write, for me this week, has been about investing in myself. Every morning, as early as we possibly can, normally about 7:30, we've left the house early, gone for a walk around the park, and then come back to the house for breakfast and to get ready for a working day, so that when I leave the house in the late afternoon to go and write, or I write at my desk here in the office at home, I'm ready because I've invested in myself. I've had some exercise, I slept well the night before, I've thought about what I'm going to write today last night before going to sleep. What can you do to invest in yourself this week, whether that is exercise, eating well most of the time, because it's so easy to binge out on food or to snack down on things because you need that sugar rush, or certainly I feel like I can justify that sugar rush so that I can get an extra 1,000 or 2,000 words done in that particular writing block. But invest in yourself. Be in such a space for each day this week that you are able to turn up, to write, and to produce good output that you'll be happy with as you review it at the end of week 2. For me, the T of writing is about tracking your progress. And whether that's me using index cards or making notes in a physical journal, obviously using the statistics page on the NANOWRIMO.org website, tracking your progress. Are you a page ahead with every hour that you write? Are you a chapter ahead with each day that you sit down and you produce your input into the NaNoWriMo process for this month? Tracking your progress is not only practically useful, but it's emotionally really positive, because you get to see that you've gone from 10 to 12,000 or from 8,000 to 11,000. You're seeing the addition of words in a story that means something special to you and which you're committed to finishing during this month of July. And the final letter of write is, of course, E. E for me stands for the energy that is necessary. This is a draining process, make no bones about it. You need to make sure that you're getting the sleep, you're eating well enough, but also that you are, I think, in an emotionally strong space so that you have the energy to move your document forward. You have that energy that is an emotional energy, but also a physical energy that you can turn up and write. Whether you're sitting in a coffee shop or sitting in a chair at your home-based desk, it takes effort. It's a drain on you to sit there for an hour or 2 hours and to contribute words to page or words to screen as you move through this second week of NaNoWRIMO. I love this coffee, but I'm not drinking too much of it. One thing I have found last week is that I'm having less coffee in the morning when I'm doing my normal work, so that if I'm drinking coffee to keep myself alert and in the right frame of mind to enjoy my writing, I'm having those coffees and reserving them for the blocks of time that I'm sitting at my desk or I'm out and about and I'm adding to my manuscript. So those are my 5 things for this particular week. Do the work, rate your output, invest in yourself, track your progress, and have the energy to take you through from the beginning of week 2 to the end of this week. And then we're going to repeat the process and keep ourselves moving forward across weeks 3 and week 4 and those extra 3 days at the end of the month to take us through 31 days of consistent daily writing in this amazing process called Camp NaNoWRIMO. Wherever you are, wherever you're writing, whatever you're writing, because it's your story, it's your manuscript, it's your work in progress, whatever you're writing, have a great week.